Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Katie Weaver Show. If you are listening live, we are live. It is I don't even know, it's the 22nd of March. It's about 11 a.m. Pacific time. So if you're live with us, welcome. If you're listening to an archive or a replay, I want to welcome you also. I want to let you know that I am live streaming this event over at YouTube and Facebook, Katie Weaver Domestic Mystic. If you'd rather watch than listen, some people do, some people don't. Either way, I am over in the chat room as well, and you can find that by heading over to 12radio.com. Click on the chat button, and you'll be redirected into the Facebook chat, and that's how to find me. So you'll see my banner at the top of the page for the Katie Weaver Show, and that's where we're chatting. So that's what's going on. So I hope you guys are having a good start to your week. Lots going on at my house. So my kids have been in town and left their dogs here for a couple of days. They actually went to Montana to spend a couple of days with our other daughter, our younger daughter. And so we're dog sitting, which is great. Their little dogs are so cute and so fun. And we, we love having them here. They are a Shih Tzu and a Shih Tzu Chihuahua mix, Buddha and Layla, and they're darling. And they just have a blast when they're here. They love to run the backyard. Our dogs are just exhausted because all they want to do is play. Uh, but they need to get practiced up because, as you know, last week I told you guys that we are getting a puppy. Well, what I didn't know last week when I told you that we were getting a puppy is that we've decided to get two puppies because we're just weird like that. So we are getting Bruno. He is a deer chihuahua, a fawn deer chihuahua, and we've decided to also bring his brother home, who is a little brown with a black mask, deer chihuahua. And yeah, oh my God. They're 20 days old today. Their eyes are open. Of course, they can't come home until sometime in May, but we're pretty excited and we're going to name the brother Luca. So, are we just like Disney Pixar movie weirdos? Apparently, we are. But Bruno and Luca, they'll be coming home in oh, I would say around 6, 7 weeks. So, I'm sure I'm going to have plenty of puppy stories coming. But anyway, I think that Rico and Blue probably better just get used to having puppies around. And the pigs, we'll see. The pigs usually love puppies. They love puppies. Uh, and they don't not like the older dogs. They just, they're a little too much for them. Like my kids' dogs are a little too much for them. They want to play and roughhouse with them, and they are a little, you know, messed up by that. But anyway, so we'll see. When Layla was a puppy, our sow Fiona tried to mother her for a while, but she bossed her around too much, and she'd flip her over on her back and just inspect the hell out of her, sniff every square inch of her. And one time when she did that, and I was watching, she didn't actually hurt her, but Layla yipped, and it scared Fee and it hurt her feelings, and she ran outside and never played with her again. And it's not like she got in trouble. It's not like I yelled at her or anything. It just hurting the puppy, making her cry, scared the shit out of her. And she felt horrible and she ran off, and that was it. But every time Layla comes over here and sees Fee, she still thinks that they're best friends. So she jumps all over on her and tries to make her play with her. And it's cute. And poor Fee. I never knew pigs were so emotional till I brought two home. But they are easily the most emotional animals in my house. Yeah. Speaking of animals, you guys want to know what Scott said to me today? He said, and I quote, "Hey, not everything has to be sung to the dogs." What? Yes, it does. Why would you even say that? And at the time, I was singing to Rico about his pretty brown hair. Yeah, he's learning his colors, Scott. Anyway, I'm still blown out of the water that somebody would say such a thing. Yeah, because I think everything does have to be sung to the dogs. And I'm going to be honest, the dogs appreciate my singing more than, well, anybody else around here. So, you know how it is. Anyway, I'm still blown away that you would say something like that to me, Scott. But I have things to show you. So let's go there. Let's talk about things. So, because the kids were home, it's finally starting to occur to these kids that, with our 3D printers, we can make all kinds of cool stuff. And it was just Matea's birthday, and we had made her some planters that she loved. And so she came home with an idea of a planter that she wanted. And even though her dad, this went against his better judgment, he went ahead and planted or printed it for her. That's right. It's a butt. She wanted a butt planter. Oh, I dropped it on my face. I just dropped the butt on my face. Okay, that's what it looks like. This is what it looks like inside. It's kind of cool, actually. Anyway, so I'm not really sure what she's planning on planting in the butt planter, but she says she's going to paint it terracotta and it's going in her bathroom uh, because that matches the decor in there. Butts. Well, okay then, Matea. Now you got it. Anyway, I think it's kind of cool. Oh, Lillian just showed up, and the first thing she sees is this big white butt. It is all about that base, right? Too funny. And by the way, Scott and I started our brand new show yesterday. I don't know if you know, but we have a brand new show here at 12 Radio on Mondays at 10 a.m. Pacific. And it is good news only with Scott and Katie. And we're super excited about it. So basically, it's a whole show of only good news because, we've heard plenty of bad news. But while we're just inundated with bad news all the time these days, we're missing so many amazing things that are happening. So we decided that rather than come back to 1-2 news, we were going to change it up a little bit and do good news only. So again, of course, the archives are there as well, but we started yesterday and it's at 10 a.m. Pacific on Mondays. And by the way, Mondays have turned into a whole thing. So at 7 a.m. on Mondays, Deb and Christine are doing the Kickstart. They're back with the Kickstart. Following them is Mark with the Mark Husson Show. And following Mark, Christina LaFrance is bringing a new show back. And then she'll start next week. And then following Christina is Good News Only with Scott and Katie. Yeah. So 4 live awesome shows now on Mondays, which I'm really happy for. I hated that we didn't have shows on Mondays because we need that. We need shows to kick us off, We need Monday shows. So anyway, I'm very excited. Yep. Okay. So I wanted to make sure you guys knew because, well, you know, you guys listen to me talk. You're like the only ones. Mostly. The dogs do, and they listen to me sing. And even though apparently you're not supposed to do that, the dogs really like it. So there you go. All righty. Well, I have a couple other things to show you. So on Saturday, I had found a guy that had a little CNC lathe. It's like big enough to do jewelry in small pieces. And that's what I wanted. We have a big CNC, but I just want something small to do little projects. And he had one for a really good price, but he was in Alpine, Wyoming. So Alpine, Wyoming is a little touristy town not too far from Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And we were like, wow, what the hell? It's a really nice day. Let's take a drive and we'll drive out there and check it out. And we did, and we bought it and it was perfect. But believe it or not, there was a crystal shop next door. Okay, I say crystal shop. It was more of a rock shop. There's a distinction between crystal stores, like woo woo metaphysical stores, and of course, just more like rock shops, more geological shops. So she considers herself to be more of a geological shop, but it was pretty woo, in my opinion. Beautiful store. That place was so packed with stones that I can't even. It was amazing. And the lady that owned it was the nicest lady on the planet. She was absolutely darling. We chatted and chatted with her, and she just, and I told her that I used to own a rock store too, and we talked rocks and going to Tucson for, rock shows and stuff like that, and just had a really, really nice visit. And I bought a couple of rocks from her. I bought this selenite palm stone. Just, I love these little selenite, like worry stones. But she also had these awesome pieces of sunstone. And you just don't see sunstone in bigger pieces like this very often. And so it was in a bin of stones that were $15. So that's what I expected to pay. And she's like, I don't know how much this is. And I said, oh, it came out of the $15 bin. And she's like, oh, no, I like you, honey. I'm not going to charge you that. She charged me $5. And I was like, no, 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 that is not enough. That's not enough. These are so expensive. And she's like, nope, nope, $5. So anyway, then I almost feel bad about this. She was way too nice to me. Uh, as we were leaving, she walked out front with us because she has all these rocks out in a flower bed out front. And Scott was curious about a big piece of petrified wood out there. Scott's jam is petrified wood or oh, now I can't say. It's not serpentine. Septarian. Yep, septarian and petrified wood. Those are the stones that he will go for every time. So she had this giant piece of petrified wood out there. So we walked outside to decide so that she could look at it and tell him how much it was. And she told him it was like $50, which again, not enough. Crazy price. And he was like, okay, maybe I want that. And then she was saying, yeah, I need to get somebody to help me move all this stuff inside now that the snow's melted. And I said, yeah, some of the stuff, I would hate to see it get stolen. And there was this enormous piece of agate. And I said, that agate particularly, you wouldn't want that to get stolen. And she looks at that agate for a minute and she looks at me and she goes, I want you to have that agate. Take it home, please. And I was like, no, 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 no. And she said, no, it's yours. I want you to have it. And so then she looked at Scott and she says, I will only sell you that petrified wood if she takes the agate. And so she gave me, my God, it was so kind of her. It was so sweet. So I have to show you guys how big this is. I can hardly pick it up. Look at this. Look at all the blue in it. Or the green. Isn't that gorgeous? It's like the size of a loaf of bread if you're not in the chat with me. Enormous. Can you even? Anyway, so this is mine now. It was so sweet of her. And honestly, I probably would have never bought it from her because the price should have been a lot. Uh, but I'm so in love with it. It's just so gorgeous. So what a sweetheart. And then we started talking about, things that we make. And now she wants to buy some things from us. She wants to buy our enchanted hidden candles to carry in her store. So that's kind of exciting too. But I feel really blessed and lucky that we came across this kind lady. Yeah, kind of fun, huh? You never know where you'll just meet your people. And we just had such a fun visit with her. And now I feel like we have to go back to her store every once in a while and, see her. And well, we will now because I think we're going to be putting our candles in her store. But on that note, I wanted to share with you that we have finally launched the candles. You guys heard about them first. I showed them to you a while ago. And we have finally gotten them launched. So I'm going to put a link up in the chat room so that you can see them over on Etsy first. So let me do that. It's taken us a stupid amount of time to get these launched, but we've just been really busy. Okay. All right. So there's those. I'll put some pictures up in the chat room too, because I'm going to show you guys what we've got. So these are our candles that are full of crystals, and the crystals inside are Aura quartz. They're all Aura quartz. So aqua Aura quartz, tangerine, lemon, raspberry, they're all Aura quartzes, which to me is just kind of exciting and fun because, well, I love Aura quartz. And I thought if we're going to make candles with hidden crystals inside, I want them to be something really special. So to me, that has to be Aura quartz. Yeah. So I'm going to show you. I did pull up some pictures too, but I was going to show you what one of them looks like. Yeah. So this is what they look like. So they're about 5 inches tall by 5 inches wide at the base. And you just literally melt them down. And as they burn, keep an eye out because occasionally a little crystal is going to pop out. And they're just so cool. So this is them. Again, they're over on Etsy. There's just a few there so far. They're small batch for sure. But one of the really cool things, if you can kind of see in the pictures, I think you can, the finish on the wax is crystalline. It's a special kind of wax that we found. It's palm wax. So a lot of people got away from using paraffin because it's a petroleum product that's not very good for you, and went to soy. And soy's better for you for sure, but soy's melting point is really low, and so soy candles tend to melt down really, really fast. And so what we found is that palm wax is sustainable and is clean burning and burns slower so that you get a longer use out of your product. But also, oh yeah, they're scented, Maureen, yes. But they also if you heat them to just the right temperature and cool them correctly, then they get that awesome finish on the outside that looks all crystally. How cool is that? So anyway, we're having a ton of fun with that. And I'm so excited to have found that wax because I think the potential is amazing. So, yes, they are scented. And if you go to the Etsy store, Maureen, you can look at each one of them and see what what the scent is. They're described in the descriptions. The names of the candles are Seraphim. That's the white one. The purple is Midnight Moon. The pink is Pixie Dust. The blue is Siren Song. And the green is Gossamer Mist. The teal is Gossamer Mist. And yeah, they're all scented. And I love the scents. The scents were handpicked by me. And then the only other cool thing, I don't know if it's the only other, but the other cool thing about these is that they have a lot of shimmer added to the wax. So as they burn down, the colors of the candles I think they're okay. They're fine. But they are nothing compared to what the wax looks like when they are melting. The wax is phenomenal because it's got all this extra shimmer in it. And so we were so in love with the color of the wax that we kind of hated to see them set up because the wax inside is absolutely gorgeous, which, if you are, a pyro that loves to play in fire and candles and stuff, you'll appreciate this because the candle wax itself is really satisfying. Yeah. It's always kind of sad when you develop a wax that's absolutely gorgeous. And then when it sets up, it's not the same color. And the colors, again, there's nothing wrong with them. But melted, they're just so much better. So I'm putting some pictures in the chat room. They're not just at the end, actually, Sid, they're kind of throughout. And so the whole time it burns. And they come with these cool little bamboo tweezers to use to pick out your crystals too, because you got to have those if you're going to be playing in the candle wax. I put a disclaimer in there too about not putting your hands in the wax, and please don't burn your house down because you don't know what people might do and then blame you. So I don't even want to get blamed for this shit. So anyway, yeah. Yeah. So I put them in the chat room too, but here they are in the video. These are pictures of the wax before they settle in the melters. It's the little things, I guess, right? I think so. So, do you want to know what's so funny? I wanted to talk about brain fog today because I'm hearing from a lot of you guys that you're experiencing a lot of brain fog. And I put an infographic in Luminous about brain fog. And then when I got ready to start the show, I was like, oh my God, what am I talking about today? What's my topic? Well, it's brain fog, partly because of my own, obviously. So we'll get there. That's something that I really want to focus on today a little bit is to just talk about the brain fog. I just noticed I had posted on Facebook about Scott telling me that you don't always have to sing to the dogs. And he just commented that his life is like a never ending musical. And sometimes you just need to think. Think about what? The dogs and how handsome they are and things like that. Because that's what most of the songs are about. Poor Scott. He lives with a crazy person. Okay, I just put links up for Luminous. Luminous, of course, is the magazine that I publish every week with some help from my friends. So you guys, you may have already gotten it. It went out this morning about 10, but if you didn't, you can follow along. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up too in the live. So let me do that. And then we'll talk about a few things, including brain fog. If I can remember how. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is why we had to talk about brain fog today. Okay. All righty. So let's get going. Okay. So I named the magazine this week the Dazed and Confused edition because we are all feeling a bit foggy right now and out of our element. So be sure you spend some time outside this week connecting to the earth. Make sure you take good care of your root chakra. Because from a spiritual standpoint, that's probably one of the things that will help you the most. So don't fall down there. All right, so let's do it. So brain fog has already been a thing for a lot of us, and then COVID-19 came along, and COVID-19 made brain fog so much worse because most people that have any kind of long haulers are experiencing some brain fog that maybe hadn't in the past. So, brain fog started for me when I had my thyroid out. So, it's been about 4 years now that I had a tumor on my thyroid and had to have it removed. And that surgery resulted in a surgical injury that destroyed my parathyroids, which resulted in me then being a hypothyroid and hypoparathyroid. So parathyroids don't really have anything to do with your thyroids, except for that there's 4 little tiny glands around the outsides of your thyroid that are your parathyroids. Unfortunately, they knew they'd probably end up taking one parathyroid because the tumor was like right up against it was not cancerous, by the way, right up against that parathyroid, but you have 3 more. So what my doctor was really hoping all would be well, but it wasn't. So with hypoparathyroidism, you can't maintain calcium and other electrolytes in your body. So you have to take a bunch of calcium. So I have to take large doses of calcium twice a day, along with another medication that helps my body to absorb it better. Uh, And that has also caused brain fog in me, I think. But moreover, it was the thyroid. Wow. That was one of the things that hit first was the brain fog. But the thyroid has a lot to do with adrenal function and hormone function in your body. So it's not a big surprise. Yeah, Maureen said brain fog equals hormone hell. It's not a big surprise now. It was then because I just did not realize how affected I would be by getting my thyroid out. And honestly, I hardly wrote a thing for a long time because I couldn't get my thoughts together enough to do it. Even now, it can be a challenge. But anyway, let's talk about some habits to help reduce brain fog. I thought that these were some good suggestions that might help us a little bit, and we can talk about a few more. Eat foods that are right for your needs. I really like the way this is worded because what's true for me may not be true for you, right? What works for me may not work for you. We all have to get to know our own bodies and what our bodies respond to. And a lot of times that is through some trial and error. We've all had plenty of error and probably plenty of trial too. But learning about your body and how you function best is really important, and then applying that. For me, brain fog is much better if I completely avoid sugar and cut out carbs for the most part. A very low carb diet has cleared up a lot of brain fog for me. And I can tell if I have eaten much sugar, and I don't typically because I don't like the way it makes me feel, but maybe there's a birthday party or something like that, and you end up eating cake or whatever, I will notice it in cognitive function and also in coordination, like hand eye coordination, interestingly. But so for me, that's how my body functions the best. But again, you got to learn your body and how you function the best and what your body needs. But giving your body what you need is really, really important. Learn to control the stress and get the most out of it. They said to think about some of the things that you enjoy doing and try to do them more often. I loved this too. It's hard to tell people you got to get that stress out of your life because you can't always. And also, that sometimes just causes more stress. When you're stressed, because you're stressed, how is this helping you? You know? And so I like the idea of rather than trying to abolish stress from your life, because that's truly never going to happen, finding things that you love, that do bring you joy, that do raise up your happy quotient, and try to do more of them. Maybe put more focus on things that you love and care about, and less focus on the things that are causing the stress. All right. Use memory strengthening exercises. I did this for quite a while. I should do it again. You play brain games, which can help you sharpen a range of cognitive skills from reading to comprehension to memory. So I kind of feel like I do this in true crime because I read multiple articles, I do a bunch of research, and then I condense what I've learned into a 15-20 minute segment about that crime or whatnot, and that's helped me to really learn how to, or that's helped exercise my brain for sure. I did right after I got my thyroid out for quite a while. I played brain games on my phone, memory games and things like that. And I did think that helped me. I should probably find some of those games again, honestly, because, well, I can always probably use a little bit more brain exercise. But reading, writing, and researching has definitely helped me, um, which can be a double-edged sword when you feel like you cannot focus and remember anything, but also you need to focus and remember things. But it is good for you to try, so that's part of it for me. Also, I got to tell you guys, I helped Mars with a paper a couple of weeks ago. We got an A minus, and I'm so miffed about it. An A minus. Not a single note from the professor about why it was an A minus and not an A. I felt like it was picture perfect by the time I got done editing it for her and helping her work on it. A minus? Anyway, that's all. Who gives me an A minus? Scott's laughing. He's like, should be happy with a damn A minus. I'm not. I'm not. It's fine. It's whatever. He says nothing's perfect, including you. Yeah, but A minus? A freshman in college paper? Mm, not cool. Anyway, it was her paper, not mine. I just got way too attached to it. Yeah. It's a history class, and they are currently doing it's American history too, and they're talking mostly about the civil rights movement. And so they're watching a series of movies and then writing papers about the historical significance of those movies. And so I've really enjoyed watching the movies so that then she and I can discuss and work together on her papers. And wow, interesting stuff. In fact, the movie that we did this last week, the paper that's just getting turned in, we'll see how we do. Is oh no, now I can't, I can't remember what it's called. Maybe Scott will help me. Oh, the Defiant Ones. It's called the Defiant Ones. See, sometimes you order up the information and it just takes a minute to show up. The Defiant Ones. Have you guys seen that? It was produced in 1959. In fact, this was the first big movie for Sidney Poitier, who passed away last month at the age of 94. Yeah. Anyway, very, very interesting movie. Really brave for the time. Hell, that movie at this time would cause some kind of outcry. Crazy. But anyway, let's keep going. Learning to cope with getting an A minus. What? Maintaining healthy habits and journaling can help you cope with the brain fog that accompanies certain medical conditions. I thought that was a good thought too. Just learning to cope, learning how to work around it. Uh, I had to learn to do things like keep notes on post it notes in my phone, uh, on a Google Doc, make lists, things that I hadn't really had to do before that I suddenly discovered that I really needed to, figure out what was going on in my, what I needed to remember because there's nothing worse than knowing you've forgotten something, but not knowing what it is. So, yeah, lists, post-its, notes, texts. I will frequently text myself or text Scott things that I need to remember so that I don't forget. Also, Scott remembers the things that I forget sometimes, all the time, most of the time. Yep, my girls when they're home, they try to keep me on track. Sometimes it works. Oh, good, Mary. Thank you. Mary said, I can't tell you how many times I helped my girls with research papers and would get so anxious for our grade. Luckily, we mostly got A's, but when we didn't, she would question the professor. Okay, I made Micah do that a couple of times when I helped him with papers and we didn't get the grade that I thought we deserved. We. Who are we, Mary? I know Mary is an educator, so she understands this from every level. I get it. Okay. Medicines and treatments. It might be very helpful to change the dose of your medication if possible, or start doing memory strengthening exercises while in chemotherapy. Okay, yeah, because chemo causes like major brain fog. Uh, don't ever change your medicines, of course, without talking to your doctors about it first. I actually mentioned brain fog to my rheumatologist last year, and she put me on hydroxychloroquine. Uh, we had a laugh about oh, good. Now, if I get COVID, I'll be fine, which isn't true. But anyway, it just cracks me up. But yeah, I actually felt like hydroxychloroquine helped a lot, interestingly. But it also is a med that can destroy, it can make you go blind. So you have to keep an eye on your eyes. Pun not intended. But it is really good for energy, physical energy, and also for brain fog and memory. But at any rate, I mean, that's just not a here nor there. If you have thyroid issues, or you don't, and you start noticing a lot of brain fog, go to the doctor. You could have some kind of hormonal imbalance. It's very possible, especially if you're 35 or older. Your hormones start messing around. So go get some labs done. Well, the one thing about brain fog you should not do is suffer in silence. If you don't know what's causing it, get thyself to the doctor. No messing around. I am amazed at how often you guys and me, how often we suffer in silence and don't speak up when we need to about health issues. Don't go to the doctor. And if your doctor isn't listening to you, if your doctor dismisses you, if your doctor cannot hear you when you're telling them that you feel like something's going on, you know what you can do about it? You can get a new doctor. I stayed with the wrong doctor for 15 years. 15 stupid years. When every time I went to that doctor, all he wanted to do is tell me if I would just lose weight, I'd be fine. If I would just be willing, guys, if I would just be willing to lose weight. Because obviously I was so damn stubborn over here, just, wolfing down Twinkies all day, right? If I was just willing. When I finally got a new doctor and she did actual labs and gave an actual damn about me, we discovered that I had a major thyroid issue and my gallbladder was all but dead and a few other things. Wow. Wow. She also discovered that I wasn't sick because I was fat. I was fat because I was sick. There's a big difference there. And that actually is true for most people. It's not normal for your body to put on extra weight. Most people's metabolisms can handle what they're doing unless it's an extreme case. But for the most part, if your weight is spiraling out of control, there's probably a health reason for it. So if your doctor won't recognize that, if your doctor treats you like you're med seeking, treats you like you're a hypochondriac, treats you like your concerns don't matter, do not walk, run. Find somebody else. Talk to other people who in your area who might be able to refer you to somebody else. And it's true, sometimes they don't do the right tests for thyroid. If you really want a thyroid diagnosis, if you really want to hone in on it, go see an endocrinologist. And I know it's hard to get into specialists and they're expensive. I get it. But I'm going to tell you guys what, I have the best medical care I have ever had to date has been at the hands of female nurse practitioners. Hands down. That doctor who finally looked at me and decided that, I needed some labs to decide what was going on with my body rather than just tell me if I'd be willing to lose weight, I'd be fine. Yeah, a woman, a nurse practitioner, a nurse practitioner who was dun 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 overweight herself. Yeah. Why? Because she had lupus. Yeah. Crazy how that all works. Yep. Yep. Good. Lillian says all of her doctors are women. All of them. Me too. Me too. Now, and it's nothing against men particularly, but I won't see a male doctor unless I absolutely have to because women, well, they listen and they understand women's bodies a whole hell of a lot better. All right. Lastly, get quality sleep. And this too can sometimes be a challenge, right? Some of us struggle with sleep more than others. I actually do really well with sleep for the most part, but I know that some of you guys do not. Oversleeping or getting too little sleep can possibly be symptoms of a larger issue, but many people choose to avoid addressing their sleep problems or simply neglect sleep altogether. That's something that I have seen in my clients a lot. Rather than figure out what to do about the sleep issue, they try to ignore it away for a billion years. And guess what? It doesn't work. Did you know there are doctors that are sleep specialists? Yes. If sleep is an issue for you, go to a sleep specialist. Go to a sleep specialist. They'll probably want to do a study. Sometimes you have to go to a clinic for that. Sometimes they'll give you the stuff to hook up to yourself at home, depending on what they do and what your issue is. But don't suffer in silence on sleep. My God, sleep is so crucial to your health. And if you're suffering in silence and you're not treating your sleep issues, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. Is it possible that you'll need some help with sleep via medication? Maybe. Via a CPAP or something else? Maybe. But wouldn't that be great for you to sleep well and wake up feeling good? I finally did the sleep study a few years ago. And when I did that, because I was waking up, I was struggling to sleep, having a lot of pain at night. That basically the doctor was like, "You should sleep through that. We shouldn't be up 1,000 times a night." But I was. And I was finally waking up with these horrible, dull headaches that would go on for a few hours every day. And then I started having heart palpitations. And they did some heart work, looked at my heart, and my heart was fine. And they went, "You know what? Maybe this is sleep apnea because sleep apnea can cause your heart to start doing that because it's working too hard because of what's going on with you at night." So I had a sleep study. Weird experience for sure in a part of our local hospital that is haunted as hell. And an interesting conversation with the tech while she was hooking me up to all the wires and stuff about how haunted it is. But they cover your head and chest and all of these different wires and whatnot, and then expect you to get into bed and go to sleep, which you eventually do. And they'll give you a little something to help you sleep if you need it, but they want you to sleep naturally if possible. And I slept. And when I woke up the next morning, well, she woke me up partway through the night and actually put a CPAP on me to see how I would respond and put me on oxygen, which was interesting. So here's what I learned from the sleep study. My oxygen was dropping to 80 at night, 80. That can damage your organs and was the reason why I was waking up feeling so terrible in the mornings because it turns out when I go to sleep, I hardly breathe. I hardly respirate. And so my oxygen was dropping and my heart was working too hard because of it. And it was really affecting how I felt all day, every day. So I went on oxygen at night and a CPAP, and I cannot tell you how much better I feel. And my pride and my vanity hated it. I'm like, I am 40 years old and sleeping with oxygen? Like, what the hell? Well, get over yourself, lady, because guess what? It made the difference that I needed. And I started feeling so much better. But every time I talk to people that are having sleep issues, and I suggest going to a sleep specialist, they get freaked out. No, no. What if they want me to like get a CPAP? Well, what if they do? What if you get one? What if you sleep better? What if you feel better and have more energy? That sounds terrible. But I know. Sarcasm. But truly, don't mess around with sleep. If sleep is your issue, get to the doctor, get it figured out. There's no reason to suffer in silence on that. So, those are some thoughts about ways to work on or reduce brain fog. The other thing, of course, is to work on hormone balance. If your hormones are out of whack, you are going to have some brain fog. If your thyroid's out of whack, you're going to have some brain fog. So, work on those things, but work on them. Do not suffer in silence. We're not doing that anymore, right? Right. Okay. A couple new meditations over at Planet Meditation. Then, of course, bitch scopes are brand new. I promised you last week that the bitch was on break, but she was coming back. Oh, Lillian, do it, honey. You'll feel so much better if you get an answer. Yeah, it's so worth it. All right. Tip of the week is growing basil. Basil is a great herb to grow indoors. And this is the time of year where people really kind of start thinking about putting together a little indoor like kitchen garden, and grow some basil and a few other herbs. But basil is a very magical herb. Basil helps to attract love, passion, wealth, and luck. So if you're not growing some basil in the house, what are you doing with your life? Right? Grow it outside too if you can. But we always have some basil in the house. Scott loves it. He always grows some. But why wouldn't you want plants that attract love, passion, wealth, and luck? And of course, to throw in most of the things you're cooking. All righty. The Kindred Spirits Energy Oracle card this week from Christy is the Spider. You can watch that video. The Magic Monday message is I love my dreams from Melissa. Heart happenings this week from Ginger 10 easy ways to move energy. And I loved what she said. Made me think about some things that I definitely should be doing at my house. All new art, by the way, in Luminous this week. Anita brings us Archangel Raphael. And there you have it. That is Luminous. So hopefully you found a few gems in there. Yep, right. Time to grow basil. It's true. And basil's easy to grow, really easy to grow. I highly recommend, actually, though, I was going to talk about this with the whole brain fog conversation, but I forgot. uh, rosemary. Rosemary is a brain herb. Rosemary is an amazing brain stimulant. There's a study that showed that people who were sitting near a plant, a rosemary plant, or using rosemary oil as an aromatherapy tool while they were studying improved their memory retention rate by more than 50%. What? More than 50%? I mean, that's crazy talk. Now, we almost always have rosemary in the house because it does not overwinter here. You can plant it outside and have crazy good rosemary all summer, but it will die in the winter. And it shouldn't. And Scott has tried a billion different things to try and help it over winter, and it won't. So we always grow some in the house. But at any rate, eating rosemary, smelling rosemary, cohabitating with rosemary is amazing for your brain and it's amazing for your memory. So if you can remember, pick up some rosemary. I know. I'm full of jokes today. I'm actually in a super good mood today for there's really no reason behind it except for that I just am. So, yep. You're welcome, Tiffany. Tiffany said, I really appreciate all of the medical information you're sharing today and your history. Although I have certain challenges, as you know, I can relate into certain aspects. Yeah. You know, once upon a time in the new agey world, it wasn't very safe or comfy to share your health issues because, wow, how can somebody who works as a professional healer have health issues? Well, because that's not what we're healing most of the time, right? How can somebody who, is all about wellness be sick? Well, because these are human bodies. We're not infallible. And also, I am a genetic disaster. And so that's why. But there was a time here in the new agey world. I'm going to kind of blame Hay House for this because they had to put out all of these people like, the Doreen Virtues and Wayne Dyers of the world who, did have, I mean, Wayne always talked about his struggles as a kid and stuff, but there was always this air of needing to be really perfect to be a public figure in the new age world. And it kept a lot of us quiet. Hell, when I had my thyroid out, I didn't even tell you guys. When I had my gallbladder out, I didn't tell anybody. Why? Because it felt unsafe and it wasn't your fault. It was my fault. It was believing that we couldn't be real and authentic. And that's just not the case. It's not right. It's not right to make anybody feel like that. It's not right for me to model that. It's just not right. And so, Tiffany, I agree that it helps us all to talk about our own challenges so that we can help to share our experiences because we can help each other and help motivate, elevate, and inspire each other to do better by ourselves. Does the rosemary need to be fresh to not dried to work? I don't think that's true, Renee. I mean, they talk a lot about growing fresh rosemary in your house and cooking with it. But if what you have is dried, I mean, it's not in whole plant form when you use the essential oil either. So I'm going to say I think it's probably fine. Yeah. Okay. Well, there's my soapbox today. I'm glad I talked about brain fog before I forgot. And I think that it's time. Also, we do not want to forget, I've been really nervous about this. I don't ever want to forget to do our chapter out of Kathleen's book. And I've been worried I would forget. I always put her book like right next to my keyboard before shows so I don't forget. If a day comes that I do, please feel free to ask me if we're going to do a chapter out of Kathleen's book, because now you know my brain is like this. So it could happen. And I don't want it to happen. I would be so upset if it did. I mean, we'd recover, but I would be very unimpressed with myself if that happened. So, if a day comes that we're not working on Kathleen's book and it's time towards the end of the show, feel free to prompt me. That does not hurt my feelings in any way. So, of course, this is our bibliomancy for the year. This is Kathleen Peterson's book. And since our dear Kathleen has passed, we've been using this book as a way to channel a message from her and from her masters. So, the point is, we just flip through the book and land on whatever page we land on. We take that to be our message for the week, and I will read you the chapter, which is a page or two or three. All right, here we go, Kathleen. What do we need to know this week? Dana. We've had Dana a few times, and I've been wondering if it's because I've had it open that many times, but honestly, the message resounds, so we're going to do it. Today's message is about worthiness and deserving what you have and what you wish to develop and have. You are all divine and you are all royalty. Now is the time to allow yourself to acknowledge this. When you know that you are divine, you can move forward with your divine purpose. Now is the time to know that all of us in the other realms honor and respect you for the path you have chosen. To walk on the earth plane at this time is to be in the thick of things, as they say. You are needed now on the earth plane as the vibrations transition into another level. Honor yourself and your gifts and your talents. Now is the time to know that when you fully stand in your power, when you acknowledge that you are capable, you can affect those around you in a positive way and assist them to believe in their own gifts. You deserve all that you desire. The abundant universe awaits your call. You are all capable of creating more than you will ever need in regard to money and possessions. Open your minds to the fact that you deserve to feel safe and you deserve to be comfortable with where you are now. Now is the time to say to Spirit that you are ready to receive all that the universe has to offer. Commit to this belief. Do not go into your usual mode of fear and doubt about your worthiness. You are worthy just by being who you are. Open your hearts and minds to the great ability you have to manifest anything and everything. Call on me, and I will help you to ease your fears about being worthy. I say unto you, you can have what you desire without any qualifications. You are capable of manifesting great things, which in turn will enable others to step into who they are. The more that you accept your gifts, the more you open to receiving all that is offered, and the more you will be able to help others. Now is the time to change your belief about who you are and what you deserve. Do not hold back from fear or doubt. Know that you are worthy, that you are divine, and that you do not need to struggle so. Know that we are all here to support you as you walk through your path on the earth plane. See yourselves as royal and worthy. Step out of your fear and allow yourselves to be the royal beings that you are. Honor yourself today with something special. Do something for yourself that is unique and gracious. You deserve it. Today, celebrate you with a special treat, without doubt about whether you deserve it. Release the guilt and fear. Give those feelings to the universe and have them transmuted into love and light. Today, ask for the help you need and know that you will receive it. You are grand, glorious, and divine beings, and we celebrate you always. Today is the time for you to celebrate. I send you love, honor, and blessings beyond your wildest dreams. Please open your hearts and receive all that Spirit has to offer. No limits, no fear, and no doubts. Every time you ask for help, it is there, open to asking and receiving without reservations. Wow. Yeah, I think that's what we needed today. Most definitely. Thank you, Kathleen, and thank you, Dana, for that. What an amazing message. And it made me think, wow, I did buy a fancy bottle of wine at Trader Joe's last week. Maybe today's the day. You guys, we've done it. We've talked down to the end of the show. I want to let you guys know or remind you that I am a professional psychic advisor over at 12radio.com or 12listen.com. You can find me over there literally every day doing readings, healings, mediumship, animal communication, pep talks, clearings. Bring it to me. I will help you. You know I will, and I will treat you like family because that is my, well, that's my promise to you. Thanks so much for being here, you guys. I appreciate you. I love you. I'm glad that you're a part of my world. You have been listening to yet another production of 12 Radio, the Katie Weaver Show here on 12 Radio, where we're changing the way you listen to the world.